Alright guys, so what are we doing today? We're doing a understanding free roles and playmaker on the CM0102 tactical instructions. Now first off, what does the free role do? A free roller drifts all around the pitch. He's someone you let roam, um, and he's a main focal point in the tactical creator and plays out in the match engine. So your team will always look to use him. So it's a high risk or it's a high risk strategy in the sense that you you're gambling that that player's going to be have a main impact in your team, and it can be detrimental or it can really enhance how your team plays. Now, first off, playmakers generally will be playmakers and free roll ability will be in the hidden editor. So you can't actually see it if you're a purist like me and you just play the game interface only. Um, it's kind of a guessing game if they can play it, but generally, like I just took over our River Plate and just looking at it, I can kind of tell he's an incredible advanced playmaker, Di Alessandro. So how would I use him? I would just had a quick look at the team. So I'd probably start with something like this for River Plate. Obviously, they're one of the big teams in Argentina, so I'm gonna want to be on the front foot. So I'm gonna kind of overload the have arrows going forward and kind of overload the central midfield slots. And Alessandro will be in the middle here. How would I actually use Alessandro? Looking at his player attributes, off the ball's not incredibly high, but he's very quick. So dribbling's going to be on. What else are we looking at here? So for Di Alessandro here, I'd probably have him on. Definitely take off marking. Forward, run with ball. What's his long shots like? 14. What's his off the ball flares higher? You could have him on long shots actually. His passing decisions. What you kind of set the playmaker on is going to determine if you're using the creativity patch, which automatically loads now on Nico. So um, this will only enhance these settings even further, especially if you're a big team. It can be a bit more detrimental if your player isn't that good and you're using that patch. But when you load up games through Nitco now, that setting's on unless you tick it off. So the positioning club and the creativity fixes on. It actually makes the game a lot harder if you're not a big club. But we are a big club, so it'll probably be wise to use him on that. So what I'd probably do with him there, I'd probably have him on that. I might even have him on free balls, or I'd just have him on free roll run with ball. It depends how instrumental I want him to be, or how much I want it to go through him. I just know that with that, he's going to be getting a lot of goals and assists, but it will be very high risk compared to be much higher risk compared to that, where more elements of your team are gonna contribute far more. Um, like the distribution of goals and assists will go around the pitch a lot better. Like even your fullbacks or your strikers, if you put more instructions on him as playmaker and free roll, the what will happen is that the match engine will utilize him a lot more. So you could have that. But if he was that good, say you was a really crap squad, but you had this guy in your team, then yeah, I'd definitely do it. But because I'm River Plate, I might just only have him on that. So because I'd want other areas of the team to contribute a lot more. Um, right, let's just set up the team. So if we go to tactics on here, playmakers, you can actually have one more than one playmaker. So say for example, you wanted to do like a deep line. You wanted to use a deep line playmaker and an advanced one, or you could even have one as a striker set as playmaker. It all depends on your attributes, obviously, and what types of players you've got. But we're just using Alessandro as an example here. So generally, what are the benefits to Playmaker? Like I said before, it is literally you're focusing your play through one or two individual players. Say, for example, you had a Perlo as a DMC here, an AMC, and you wanted to do like a playmaker kind of play through the middle with a deep line playmaker in advance. You can kind of do things like that. Or if you're playing like a direct strategy and you've got two very technical strikers and you want them on and you want them like free rolling and they can play like different positions. They've got really good attributes, very, very high technicals, and you know they can play free rolls. You could set both your strikers on that. Um, it all depends how you want to set up your team. So just for the case of Alessandro, I'm just using him here. So anyway, it was quite a quick video. I just wanted to explain why, what are the benefits to playmakers and free rolls generally. Um, I started to use playmakers a lot more because on the old base game, like having a shadow striker here was always pretty OP. But what I used to find with it was I will I would win leagues and things like that, but when it came to important games, like late on in the Champions League, I didn't find that the tactical approach was strong enough because the match engine seems to focus so much on that arrow. So a lot of my tactics now, you'll see me not use a shadow striker for many reasons because it kind of takes away the effects of the strikers and the midfielders, and I much prefer actually setting my teams up to individual attributes. So there's more. If you look at some of my teams now, like my PSV team, my fullbacks both usually get over double digits in assists every season. And on some saves, like Boomer, for instance, and Zambrotta on my Juventus save, fullbacks or wingbacks, they can get into double figures on goals. But it's just the way I play my teams with a lot of hold up ball, and I like to get a lot of players involved in the movement. Like if you're just doing that, um, yeah, the focal point there is going to be it's always going to end up with the ANC a lot of the time. So it may be quite good if you're seeing him get 30, 40 goals a season, but it doesn't really distribute through the team that much. I see a lot of tactics that use that, but then I only see fullbacks getting like 3 or 4 assists a season, or the midfielders aren't chipping in as much, or the strikers are a bit ineffective. So it's all about balancing your team. I don't get me wrong, some saves I will still use that, but it's all like squad dependent, obviously. Say if I was a really big team like Man United, Bayern, Real Madrid, you've got so many good players through the team. I don't see how using a shadow striker there's as effective when you could be more effective by doing that because your striker's going to be moving away from his marker and you can do a lot of stuff with the ANC here depending on his attributes. Anyway, it was just a quick video, but playmakers generally can be used anywhere in the team. And the free rolls specifically are just like a focal, are just important for many reasons because the striker, obviously, if you're free rolling a striker, he's going to roam away and the defender's going to get dragged out of position. So then you've got options like that or that, depending on how you're setting up your team, or even that if you've got like a midfielder to striker. You, there's so many different ways you can actually do it. Anyway, thanks for watching.